Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, archangels and ascended masters, for the perfect grace, perfect clarity, and perfect peace that's here for each of us right now. Thank you to the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity for wonderful peace, perfect clarity, and wonderful joy. Wonderful. If we could notice very simply, we'll notice Mary Magdalene being present. If we could notice her laying out a picnic blanket that could fit, most of humanity on, if not all of humanity, if we could notice everyone being on the same blanket. And if we could just choose right now for everyone here on this particular call, everyone who will listen in the future, and everyone whom we know, if we could just feel unity and not prescribe what that unity must look like or be like, but if we could just notice the choice of unity. If we could just breathe in, whether we see it, visualize it, hear it, know it, feel it, let's notice everyone you know of sitting on the same blanket. And if we could, with that blanket from this nurturing goddess, if we can indeed allow the qualities of nurturing to come to everyone, and if we could notice that indeed coming, that nurturing coming from the divine, from spirit, from goddesses, from angels, from guides, and if we could release requiring of each other any interpersonal anything, and just allowing the level of spirit to come forward, perhaps from the bottom up, with a sense of grounding coming up to the top of your head, just letting everyone receive nurturing care, letting everyone, including you, receive perfect healing, noticing the wonderful guidance that is here, the connectivity that guidance brings, and extreme joy, their wording. So if we could just breathe and let all that happen, and perhaps just focusing on your own experience, but knowing it's a shared experience. And if we could let anything that feels like fog, anything from too much information, too much input, too much stimulation, too much disappointment, too much bad news, too much anger, whatever it is, all of the above, none of the above. It's very simply just notice any fog vanishing and everything being clear. So if we could breathe into fresh air, breathing into clean air, letting yourself have an individualized experience that is joyful and peaceful. So just lovingly just breathe into all that. And let's indeed just notice what is being provided here from Mary Magdalene, from this collective picnic blanket, everyone having the same experience in the same space, but that spirit experience being individualized, just allowing everything to be clear and allowing, as part of that clarity, for wonderful healing to happen. Healing, as always, every system in your body, letting the perfect balance of everything, the balance of minerals, the balance of serotonin and equilibrium, the balance of flow, your blood being perfectly healthy, as are your brain, your heart, your digestive system, your nervous system being relaxed. Just noticing all this goodness. And noticing the coolness, their word, the coolness of everything working well. So just breathe in, we'll notice all that being present right now. And once again, we'll just notice what it's like to lean back from or not expect anyone else to meet needs. Just very simply in this moment, letting the universe, letting the guides, and Mary Magdalene specifically, to provide for you. and noticing a deep sense of peace. Wonderful. And if we could notice in this huge picnic blanket, if we could notice in each corner of the blanket, there is a Mary Magdalene sitting like Buddha, basically. If we could notice those four Mary Magdalenes, let's notice very simply the one that feels closest to you, perhaps physically, perhaps energetically. If we could very simply lift off of you, like steam rising, any disappointment. And if we could just let that happen without negotiating with it, making conditions, personal disappointment, national disappointment, relational disappointment, friendship disappointment, business disappointment, global disappointment, social disappointment. Let's just breathe in, let all these things like steam come off of you. And if we can notice very simply the four Mary Magdalenes chanting, perhaps mantras. The one I'm hearing is Om Mani Padme Om. If we could just breathe and just notice that that is happening. And we'll notice very simply the intention of the mantra, perhaps touching and speaking to your soul, your heart, and your cells. And if we could notice as the birds fight for seed outside, that there's plenty for everyone. And if we could just breathe into that, and if we could lovingly and peacefully and joyfully say out loud, there's plenty for everyone. I'm included in all this good. I'm included in all the good in the universe. I live in a safe and just world. I allow the highest good to happen. Thank you. Wonderful. And if we could just notice your fingers, your fingertips. If we could notice perhaps physically what your fingertips want to do, if we could just notice like a freeway going two directions, if we could notice energy coming to you through your fingers and energy going out from your fingers, if we could just notice that, almost like plugging into different energy, different channels. And if we could very simply just let abundance in all ways, including an abundance of peace, an abundance of ideas, an abundance of time, an abundance of resources. If we could just let the energy of abundance and care come to you, caring for you, nurturing energy coming to you, letting anything that doesn't serve you perhaps move out of you. Specifically, the energy of disgust, let's let that move away. The energy of feeling oppressed, let's let that move away. So let's just notice those heavy energies moving away and very sustaining, peaceful energies moving to you and for you. So just breathe into that. Wonderful. And if we can if we could notice, let's let very peacefully everyone else, everyone else sharing the blanket with you, which might be most of humanity, let's let them vanish. And if we could very simply notice Mary Magdalene wrapping you in your own personal healing picnic blanket or just a blanket. Just notice her wrapping you in that blanket, maybe like you would a child. And if we could notice Mary Magdalene very simply just holding you, and if we could just breathe into this care. And if we could notice as you're wrapped in that blanket and then Mary Magdalene embracing you, let's very simply let your nervous system indeed just have a fresh experience. Let's let any charge of stress move away. Just very simply feel this goddess nurturing you. And that nurturing being very kind and very direct. That she is just focusing on you. And if we could let in what is perhaps a little bit of a childlike gesture, if we could notice her speaking to your conscious adult self, and Mary Magdalene acknowledging all the work you are doing, all the time you are spending, doing tasks, doing jobs, healing, healing from specific things like procedures and surgeries, healing systems like digestion and reproduction, allowing rest to happen, taking stock. We could just notice a huge acknowledgement for everything you're doing, growing a business, being visible, allowing yourself permission to rest and revitalize, recognizing a spiritual truth that in spiritual work that we take turns. Like a basketball team, we're not always all on the court. It's okay for us to metaphorically sit on the bench for a bit and trust that others are doing their best and holding space. So we'll just breathe into all these different things. And let's indeed notice in this moment, in this health space, that it's okay for you to completely rest. It's okay for you to be held. And it's okay for there to be a shift in your nervous system, for you to receive all the good that is here. And indeed, if we could just take a deep breath, let's exhale a lot of stuff. Let's do that again. Let's just inhale fresh air. Wonderful. And whether you see her, feel her, hear her, or know that she's there, let's make eye contact with Mary Magdalene. Just noticing her profound soul, her profound eyes looking directly at you with great love, great care. And if we could just notice that Mary Magdalene, she knows. And if we could very simply just notice what she communicates to you as you make eye contact. Wonderful. And let's say directly too. So we're going to focus on Mary Magdalene. We'll notice the 10,000 angels listening. If we could just say out loud, I am healthy. I am peaceful in all ways. I'm fully alive right now. I am majestically clear in my intentions. I lead a fantastic life. All of my needs are met and exceeded. My talents are in demand and engaged. I am successful in everything that I do. I live on a peaceful planet. I share this peace with all souls. There's enough of there's enough of everything for everyone. Including all of life, including wildlife. I stand as a mature and secure adult. I welcome other secure and mature adults to stand with me as we choose peace and we share love. And so it is. Wonderful. If you could notice the eyes of Mary Magdalene, the eyes of Mary Magdalene reaching out to you. Let's notice her holding you closer and lighter at the same time. If we could just feel our freedom and feel the power of our intentions, the power of our words, everything we just said. And if we could notice with this slight adjustment, let's notice anything that you want to say out loud to Mary Magdalene or telepathically, anything you want to share as an intention, personal truth. Let's just breathe and we'll give that space. Everyone's muted. We'll breathe in and we'll say out loud, thank you. And let's breathe with Mary Magdalene. Let's let that act of shared breath create connection. Wonderful. So we'll just breathe in. And let's very simply put forward a wish for perhaps 2, 3 hours from now, whatever that means to you. Let's put forward a wish for 2, 3 hours from now. Let's just breathe in. Just notice the wish to feel really good, the wish to be highly connected, the wish for peace on earth. We won't attach to time. The wish for miraculous healing, for safety for all. Let's just put forward a wish, or 5 or 6 or 10. A wish for good news. Wonderful. Let's just breathe in. And let's make, very simply, just a few more words, perhaps in the form of a proclamation. Let's just say out loud to yourself, to your community, and to the world: I live on a planet with secure adults. I live on a planet where everyone expresses themselves positively. I celebrate peace on earth. I celebrate health and goodness for all. I ask for this or something better right now, in all directions of time. And so it is. Wonderful. We'll notice Mary Magdalene giving you a kiss on your third eye, perhaps on your nose or cheek too. And we'll just say out loud to her, thank you, Mary Magdalene. Let's just breathe into the freedom of going about our day with grace and clarity, peace of mind, rejuvenation, having received healing and clearing, being centered and balanced, in the presence of joy, and wishes being expressed. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we thank the presence of Mother, Father, God, and all the archangels and ascended masters We thank as well the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity for wonderful peace, perfect clarity, and outstanding joy. We celebrate peace and harmony right now in our lives. Your generosity, ease, and love, we ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is.